I can't tell you what it means to me to have your support and your prayers all of these years, because I have, and that's why when I saw you, I smiled. I don't know if you could tell behind the mask, but that means everything. And everything that you said is true. It is about consistency, and it is about not taking to heart what the good old boys and gals would have us believe, even about ourselves and about our ability to impact this process. So it has been a very, serving in the House and Senate has been very enlightening, but also very lonely, because there have been fights that I've had to take on solo, single-handedly. You know, and by the grace of God, I am still standing, even though they've tried to hurt me professionally, politically, and personally. I'm still standing. And so that, just having you here, and I'm just so grateful that as a supporter, as a constituent, as a friend, and as a leader in this community, you see and know and understand my struggle, and can speak for me and help garner support for me. It means everything. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We'll move swiftly now to the Afro-Caribbean community, represented by Elder Lucien Henry, who is the celebrated veteran of the U.S. Army. So, Elder, you have about 2 minutes to speak.
Okay, one thing I say, I'm glad we are glad, and Mia is running right now, because I've been following you, but not closely, but whenever they have a fight, so I see exactly where you stand on it. And I think you have a tendency to kill the old boy system, old good boy system, because that's how probably sometimes, you know, we got left behind. And it's about time sometime when we see maybe the dinner is served. So some of us also could be at the table also. Because, you know, I'm trying to follow you also. So sometimes also the system was that I uno dice on this. Like, you know, we see someone, you say, okay, this is all of us, but you're not all of us. You know, you want to make history, but not really want to make history. History happen because of what you stand for and what you're willing to do for the community, for yourself also. And I did not know you have the sickle cell. This is a very tough fight. So, and I wish you the best for your health. And also I'm telling you, so we, myself, and I probably speak for most of us, we will be behind you 120%. So we will do, you know, whatever help you need, financially, physically, you know, we're gonna, you know, flyers, everything we can, so we can make sure, you know, when the day is coming, we're gonna say Governor Mia.
Thank you. Before you reply, Mrs. Merlin, you're from the community also as a lady. Please just chip in 1 or 2 things, maybe from the women folk from the Caribbean community.
Oh, well, thank you. I have been following Mia also myself, and I remember every time we're going to the poll, we are looking for her name to make sure that we vote for her. What I wanted to, we know everything starts very young. Now we know we cannot teach all dogs, you know, new tricks. But right now, if we want the future, whatever you stand for, if we want it to continue, if we want it to stay strong, we need to go to those children. So therefore, my focus is on the children, what they are teaching them in school, so that they know who they are, because a lot of them, unfortunately, they don't know who they are. Even white people, they don't. So do you have a plan for the school so that those kids, they know who they are and what to expect for the future?
Please.
Thank you both so much. Yes, I do. Let me say this. I don't have a plan for the children specifically as it relates to the children, you know, of this state, other than my plan for them is a bit more abstract, because I realize that the children are our future. And if we don't invest in public education, if we don't invest in workforce development, if we don't invest in the systemic reforms that I believe we have to address, then they won't have a future. Right now, we are so crippled by COVID-19 and sending our children back to school without vaccinations because they're not old enough to be vaccinated, so, or masks, that I find myself really just trying to figure out how to keep them safe every day. So that's what I mean when I say I don't have a plan yet that is specifically for them, but I will say that part of the reason that I'm running, a large part of the reason that I'm running, is because I have two sons, and they are now young adults. They are both recent college grads, and we have conversations all the time about the future and what they believe their future looks like, because our kids are the future. And they tell me, Mom, we don't want to live here. We don't want to stay in South Carolina. And so part of my promise to them and every other, well, they aren't children anymore, but every other parent and grandparent and aunt and uncle who want to see their best and brightest kids stay here and be able to live and thrive here, is to become governor, because I want to create a state that they can feel like they're part of and that they can, feel like they're proud of. And that means configuring our priorities. Our priorities in this state have been on anti-abortion bills and firing squad death penalty bills and open carry bills and things that do nothing for us but divide us. So when I think about a plan for the future, my son's future and everybody's children's future, I want to create a South Carolina that they can be proud of and that they will want to live in and make better. Because if we're not careful, we'll soon have a state that is full of retirees and people who are moving in, whether it's for jobs or to retire, and they don't have a vested interest in making sure that our public education system is strong, or that our healthcare system is strong, or that the people here have broadband or get justice and have environmental protections and social and economic and racial justice protections. So that is, they are always a part of my heart and a part of my plan going forward, and a big part of the reason that I'm running.
Thank you, Senator. Before we move to the next leader, it is with the highest esteem in me that I introduce to you a man who twice ran for the president of Ghana, a foremost strategist and builder, one of the foremost thinkers and most eloquent speakers in the African context, a physician of the highest order, and a statesman in his rights, by right and by privilege, Dr. Arthur Kobina Kennedy.
Greetings.
Very nice to meet you.
And is the First Lady of the House of Kennedy.
That's right. Hi. Hello, everyone.
During the last gubernatorial election, James Smith, I took James Smith to his house. He did host James Smith and did very well for James Smith. So he's here with us again. Thank you very much. We'll move swiftly to the leader of the Congolese community. Please, we want you to speak for your community. You have 2 minutes. Just tell us what are the challenges you have in your community.
Thank you.
If you have no challenge or challenges, if you just want to say something good, please feel free. You have the floor.
Thank you, ma'am. We are coming from Congo. My wife is a physician, but she doesn't like to work as a physician. We have a shop.
Okay.
We have, she's making a wedding shop, and we have around, only from the shop, we have around 500 and 1,500 customers in here. The almost is black people. So, my question is like this. If we see how the defeat of James Allison against
Lindsey Graham.
I'm sorry.
Lindsey
Oh,
Graham.
Jamie. Okay.
Yes,
Against
yes.
Lindsay. Right. Okay.
do you have a good strategy that we can beat McMaster?
Yes.
Listen.
Thank you.
Something. You have a very strategic question here. I know you can do justice to that.
We can dream for all questions here.
Right.
But if we don't have a good strategy to win,
Absolutely.
we have an issue.
You have a minute to do justice to that.
I agree wholeheartedly. And hope is not a strategy, right? So we have given you at least an outline of our path to victory. Here's the thing. In South Carolina, we have tried to defeat Nikki Haley, Vincent Shaheen, my friend and former colleague, tried to defeat Nikki Haley twice and wasn't able to. Last year, in 2018, James Smith and Mandy Powers Norrell, also dear friends, I served with them in the House. They tried to defeat Henry McMaster once and were unsuccessful. At some point, we have got to stop doing the same thing and expect a different result. I am a different candidate, obviously. I have a different vision for South Carolina, and I have a different perspective. And I have the ability to connect with voters that neither Vincent, nor James and Mandy, nor Jamie had an opportunity to connect with. So it's not simply about race. And I know that is the common denominator for Jamie and me. But I've had a number of conversations with Jamie. He is a dear friend. And he believes that he was unsuccessful for a number of reasons. One was because Trump was on the ballot and they had a strategy and they weren't letting COVID-19 cause them to do anything differently during that time. So they didn't care who they put in harm's way. Jamie did. He cared, so he did not have a field program. He didn't have a ground game during that election. And he believes that that is what cost him dearly. Now, the flip side of that is Jamie got more votes than any other Democrat has ever gotten. And so we have to build on that. He started the infrastructure. I've also had several conversations. I've had with the women in Georgia. I had a great conversation with Stacey Abrams. And she believes, like I do, that we can change the state. And that we can continue to build on the infrastructure that Jamie's team was able to start. And I've also spoken with several of the other women who were on the ground in Georgia. So the short story is different candidate, different race, different time. And we will do things differently. I am here today because we now have vaccinations and masks. Like, we have tools that we can use to keep ourselves, help keep ourselves safe. Nothing is foolproof, but we can make the effort to do things safely and in order, and I plan to do that. The other thing is Trump is not on the ballot next year. And the other thing is I have been serving now for 10 years, 6 in the House and 4 in the Senate. And I'm the only candidate in the primary, at least, who has any state government experience. The experience that Henry McMaster has is experience that he was granted or given. He didn't earn it.
Tell it.
He was given that. He was given that position by Donald Trump.
That's right.
And that's why he's beholden to Donald Trump. And that's why he, if he were to win, which he won't in 2022, he would be the longest serving governor. I can't even fathom that. Because he will have served 10 years as opposed to 8. When normal, governors would time out. So I said all that to say, yes, we absolutely do have a path to victory. And I know that I am not operating in my strength, I'm operating in his. So I plan to win both races.
Thank you. Thank you, Senator. Before we move to the next speaker, our auntie just came in. We call her Auntie Ansane. She's from the Liberian community. Again, one of our finest thinkers and business entrepreneur. Thank you. You're welcome.
Forgot to say she's AKA too.
AKA, okay.
I was noticing the pink and green. I didn't say anything.
Thank you. So,
Yeah.
Hello, Sarah.
So we'll move now to a man I said carries about 30 to 35% of our constituency on his shoulders alone. So when he speaks, I take him seriously. We do not agree most of the times, or a few times, philosophically, but when he speaks, when a man of that nature speaks, you have to respect him. And I respect him for his works in our community. Dr. Patrick Ingo, you have your platform now.